Okay, this is day 118. This is part 3. The reason why I spent so much time talking about the meeting on the yacht with Oleg Deripaska and John McCain was I wanted to timestamp that. That was 2016, before any of this other stuff happened with Hillary Clinton. And that relationship existed with Paul Manafort before. And I think that still is a very solid relationship, but just sensing the body language and talking with Paul Manafort's key advisor, the relationship that followed, which was the Podesta Andy McCabe relationship, never was that smooth. And Manafort always had an eye askance, waiting for when is the catch here? When is the catch? So this relationship, I think, was a very good one, a very good trading relationship with the Russian oligarchy. And it wasn't a take everything, winner take all strategy. It was a, hey, let's make some deals here. And yeah, weapons are going to go one way. I don't think he knew about the drugs. But yeah, it's going to be about mining. It's going to be about uranium. It's going to be about oil. That's the name of the game. I'm in Washington as a lobbyist to lobby for people who are willing to pay money for influence. Okay, fair enough. That's the job. So just to add a little bit of proof steps here. Here's NNSA tweeting out, hey, on this day in 1994, this completed this Project Sapphire, moving 600 kilograms of weapons-grade uranium. This is the stuff that's $1 million for, or $8 million for a quarter pounder, right? That's a lot of, that's expensive. Okay, going from Kazakhstan, right, to the eastern side of Kazakhstan to Y12 in Oak Ridge. I said that last time, but here's photographic proof. Okay, and now who is the guy from Navy Intel responsible for this project? It's this guy, Mike Edward Dossier. He's former Navy intelligence cryptologist, just like Tanay Taggart, just like Mark Lambert, okay? And this one speaks Russian, okay? Where does he work? Well, he worked for the Defense Threat Reduction Agency at Fort Belvoir. DTRA is, at Fort Belvoir, is the center of all operations for moving uranium. Hey, that would be a good place on Sprayer Street to have a little place where you could come and meet Jaquea for lunch and get filmed on a Freytag low-light camera and then go back to work. And then we can always remind you, if you didn't tell us what was going on about uranium moving around, we could, basically be able to show your wife the pictures. So, I'm not saying that's what the Awans did, but that's what I would do if I was doing compromat, okay? And we know that Mike Dossier probably had no part in that, but it was the guy that would be, you would go after his laptop, let's say. He would be a good target to know all this stuff, where stuff's going on. He's working in Kazakhstan. He's working in Azerbaijan. We know there's a dark weapons factory that Graham and Mr. Biden and other senators are involved in. With that, hey, that'd be a good way to launder money. If there were drug profits, put them into dark weapons, give it another rinse. Germany, Singapore. There's also this Project Maximus I talked about before, which was moving Iraq's nuclear material to Canada. The partner there was Kamiko. I've talked about that before. Deep Uranium's talked about that before. This is a really, really important strategic place to have some kind of compromat operation going, which is Fort Belvoir. Okay? So if you don't remember where that is, real quick geography, this on the eastern side here that's where the highly enriched uranium is. That's also where they're going to put the low enriched bank. Now, do you think people will know the difference between LEU and HEU? Well, we'll find out. I wouldn't fall for that. But anyway, here's that weird Astana capital with the weird buildings. I'm not saying that's money laundering and concrete. And then we're going to go all the way over here to get to the Caspian Sea for our oil. Here's where that plane went down, Orsk, right here. And then we're going to get to the Caspian Sea. We're going to get into this pipeline. Pipelines, you know what that means. Neil Brown, KKNR, David Petraeus, Eric Braverman for the World Bank, infrastructure loans, etc., pay-to-play, Clinton Global Initiative. Boom. All in one thing, okay? So we'll just call that pay-to-play, and the Podesta Group may or may not be involved in that. We'll see. We're going to court to find that out. And then we've got Tashkent down here on the border. We've got our man in Tashkent, which is Craig Murray. We know that we have Eye of God over all this with the Navy Observatory, so we're going to be able to see this stuff moving around. If we had the vice presidency, if we control the vice presidency with Biden or with Cheney, hey, everything's going good. Now we've got Pence. So I think they've had total visibility on this stuff moving around for a long time. Okay, so now let's talk about Putin's program to build up these kind of Natasha super spy girls. He would get these women that had PhDs and all these things. Sort of our Valerie Plame model that we went away with. We went more toward electronics. They went toward more, because they had a lot of beautiful girls that were smart, I guess. They went toward this model of developing these kind of knocks, these super spies that knew everything about everything. And this may be one of those. This is Valeria Rostanets. And she's head of document and control for this gas company, for this oil company, etc., Caspian University. Hey, that's right, Kazakhstan's on the Caspian Sea. From Kazakhstan. Ah, okay. Well, that's the same name as Irina Rostanets. So are they related, or are they one of a group of like Rostanets, like Rockets, like really smart girls that like Valerie Plame that Putin raised to be these expert economic spies, or is it just a coincidence? Well, we don't know. We're going to go find that out. But what a great way to do compromat, to have these brilliant, beautiful women that are so young and so technically brilliant. And then they could come to America and maybe be lawyers in America, and they could work in well, who knows? They could work in Florida, maybe even near the racetrack, and we could bring in money from different mining operations all over the world, or any other kind of mining operations that we decided through Florida. Is that really what's happening? Who knows? Who knows? We don't know. We don't know. So that's where we're going to leave it today. I know this is a little bit like leaching. We're slowly using sodium hydrochlorate, to slowly leach the juice out here. We're trying to leach out the highly enriched uranium from all the ore here, and I know that's a difficult process sometimes. I'm not saying anything about leaching up in the northwest corner of Saskatchewan on the Ark River. I'm not mentioning that at all. I'm not saying we're using hydrochlorite to do that. I'm just saying that we're trying to find the uranium, the highly enriched uranium in our story, because that's where our story will have success.